told that herd immunity is the reason we want to force vaccinate everybody. We know that the MMR vaccine needs a 95% vaccine uptake. The problem with the discussion about this is it's not at 95% of our children, it's 95% of our entire society. There's 2 adult mandated vaccines by the CDC because the vaccine only lasts 10 years. If I asked everyone in this room and probably everyone on this panel, have you had your MMR booster in the last 10 years, you would say no. That means that we've never been near 95%. We're about 60%. So this entire herd immunity discussion does not count on your teachers, your taxi drivers, your bus drivers, your restaurants. Every adult in America, for the most part, has not had their boosters. So we're at 60%, not 95%. Herd immunity is a myth. It's an advertising slogan from the pharmaceutical industry to get us to force vaccinate the tiny 2 or 3% of unvaccinated children. That will not get us there. So there have been no outbreaks that have destroyed this country, even though we have never reached the herd immunity threshold. That is a fact.
And just to make the point even stronger, take a look at this. We were leaked an internal document from the message boards of a major medical association. And what they were doing was tracking, in this document, someone said, inside of our practice, and we deal with a lot of children, we have 100 practitioners, we decided to check the titers on all of our nurses that were there. Now remember, nurses are probably the most vaccinated group of adults in America. They have to deal with our children, so they're often being vaccinated and getting extra vaccines. Well, during this during this report where they were checking the titers on their own nurses, look what they found. 50 were not up to date on Tdap. 25 had no immunity to measles whatsoever, 25% of them. And 50% of them had no immunity to chickenpox. And my understanding is they hadn't even finished testing all 100 people when they posted this as an alarm on this internal memo, saying, what's going on here, folks? The MMR doesn't appear to be working because 25% of the nurses we've tested so far, 25 out of the 100, have no titers whatsoever, and 50 have no titers to chickenpox. See, this is the problem. This is the point. When they say we're reaching a herd immunity and we've got to force vaccinate everybody in Washington, we've got to force vaccinate that last remaining 2% or we're all going to die. The point is not a single one of you adults out there, not one of you, not the pro-vaxxers or the anti-vaxxers, none of the news anchors and none of the politicians sitting in the state capitol where I was yesterday have had their adult boosters like the CDC wants you to have. Why? Because you have no immunity to measles. It's wearing off. Probably at least 50, 75% of you, if it's been 20 years, forget about it. You are a walking anti-vaxxer whether you recognize it or not.